battle has started.
Hello everybody, my name is Phantasonics, and as you can probably just hear, the battle has begun. So, we got some awesome Walatiki Temple gameplay here from a Mordish engineer, and I know that this is really like low-level early game stuff, but I'm trying to get through a backlog of video footage I have, because I've been really slacking with the videos I've done recently, and I'm kind of disappointed with myself. But we're about to hit 100 subscribers, which may not sound like a lot, but that sounds like a lot to me. So we're just going for some straight Mordish engineer gameplay, and obviously he's going for some really early pressure on in the game. He's pushing straight past the central map and trying to get dominance over that initial mask, because once you get that initial mask, your game is just going to go a whole lot smoother. And obviously his team is following suit, but unfortunately the Dominion managed to pick up the mask, so now at this point he's just chasing down. They've dropped it, but the problem is he's pressured so far right now. And if they keep pressuring, they may be able to pick up the mask, but they will lose a lot of map pressure behind them, which means the maps will be kind of like the masks that spawn in the future will be like left open to the Dominion. So even though they picked up the mask, it's still a disadvantage. Luckily, he's taken some frags and he's taken some people out, and the Dominion have been seriously pushed back into their base. So they should be able to get that mask in the background home free, hopefully. If they don't, they're kind of screwed. But what they should be looking to do now is retreating, because they're kind of getting dominated. They're going to start getting overwhelmed by the respawns of the Dominion, because they're going to be respawning at their base, which means you can't replenish your reinforcements as fast as they can, and you're all going to die like that. So not so bad. I mean, they've started off with a mask back. This second mask has just arisen, and I'm feeling that the Dominion could easily push forward into the center and take it, because now, since they overextended so far, pretty much their entire team is either pushed all the way back or dead. So the central point is kind of really overexposed right now. Not so good. Exiles captured the first meter mask though, so I'm, not here to bash or anything. He's doing pretty well. Obviously, this was at state of beta, and now I can say this. During the time that this was taken, engineers were really, really weak. They've encountered a whole lot of changes. They've been tweaked and worked around just a huge amount, and so is every class. So it's relatively balanced right now, but it used to be that engineers were just useless and stalkers would dominate almost anything. Was that Zyback? Sorry, weird lapse in concentration there. Basically, it's looking good. They're picking up the second mask here, so I'm not really sure why the Dominion didn't really push forward and try and get the second mask. I think they were just too concentrated on trying to kill the enemy team, which is never really a good thing. Like, I hope you guys understand that. It's kind of rule one. You're trying to play the objective, because it's a team game and it's objective based. But look, this Stalker is just fucking absolutely shredding this engineer. That's purely because they were just so OP right then. Like, that was just not even a fair fight. That was not even close. But what I'm trying to say is, you gotta remember to play that objective, because that's just the #1 primary thing. That's how you win the game, and that's why you're there. So if you don't, then you're just gonna lose. It doesn't matter how many kills you get, because I've really found that unless it's a 1v1 situation, the kills you get aren't really dictated by how good you are a whole lot of the time. It's way more about like the way you capture the flags and the way you pressure properly and stealing the move speed and the damage buffs away, or handing them over to your team. It's basically just making the smartest decision you can to try and get that flag back to your base. And the smartest decision right now would be just to pick up the flag. Just pick up the fucking flag. The guy's way too low to stop you, so someone's got to be picking up that flag. Just do it. Just pick up the flag. Look, don't focus on killing this wanker, okay? No one cares about those guys. If you get that split-second opportunity to pick up the flag, god damn it, you're gonna have to take it. Because if you don't, then you're kind of fucked. And once you have the flag picked up, it's surprisingly easy to run at home as long as you have sufficient protection. So that whole time, like, just especially at the start of that, when they were fighting like around the flag, the guy could have just dashed forward and picked it up. It would have made either the enemies change their focus to him, which allows them to get the upper hand in the fight, or he would have just picked up the damn flag, and then he could have walked it back and his team could have recovered, regrouped, and gone for a second wave. Which is basically how you win the game. I mean, the teams who respawn together do well together. Like, it's really easy and progressive if you fight in waves, and they'll feel that. It's kind of like zerging, and I know that it's not generally a good strat, but it kind of works, which is maybe a big flaw with Walatiki Temple. I don't know, I'm not here to judge. But I'm not really sure what he's doing right here, because his whole team is on the lower level, and he's fighting into a 1v2 situation, which is going to get him killed, and it's not really going to achieve anything. He pops as a nade here, which is a good enough decision. I mean, if you're fighting a 1v2, This is the only way you're going to survive. You basically have to either fight or fly, and his best decision would be to run, but he doesn't have any escapes on his hotbar. He's got mainly just bot stuff and damage. I'm not really sure what these guys are doing. They're basically just standing at each other fighting. No one's really making any attempts to dodge or anything, which, you know, don't get me wrong, it's one playstyle, but in Wildstar, standing still not doing anything is not a good playstyle. Like, ever. Movement is really essential in this game. Because if you stand still and take telegraphs to the face, unless you're like a warrior or some shit, then you're not gonna do very well. But that's just my opinion. I mean, that's just, you don't have to, if your playstyle is to stand still and let everyone destroy your ass, then fair enough. Also, it's important to know that warriors can do that if they have taunts, because taunts reduce the damage to anyone else other than yourself. But it looks like the exiles are kind of dominating here. The Dominion just picked up a mask that they had stolen. The Dominion have just stolen a mask, essentially, and they're trying to run it home. This guy's not really making much of an attempt to stop that. In fact, he's kind of just running around. But as soon as he sees that message pop up, he should just head for the mask, which is in the right side. Now, the right-hand side if he knows it's at the right-hand side, then he can just gather on that right-hand side. But instead, he's going to the left to get kills, which is the dumbest thing I've seen for a long time. Masks, people, masks. That's why you're in the game, and that's how you'll win. And that's pretty much how you'll get your elo higher. So, just remember, anytime you see, because like, a mask like this, he's not going to be able to do jack shit. It's a 4-on-1 situation. Just go for the mask as it's open. He could have picked it up easily and ran with it, but, you know, I'm not here to judge. Actually, I kind of am here to judge. I should probably stop saying that, because it's kind of my job to judge these people and tell them what they're doing wrong. Either way, he probably should have picked up that move speed buff as well, because that just takes it away from the enemy team, and any buff you take away from the enemy team is an advantage. Unless, of course, you want to hand it over to your flag carrier. Because if you hand over the move speed buff to the flag carrier, it's basically like they're sprinting, which is insane. Anyway, he's in a good position right now for this fight. I'm not going to lie, his positioning is pretty strong when it comes to a microscopic basis, but on a macroscopic scale, it's not any good. So he should just be taking basically just grouping with his teammates and trying to dominate those flags. And while they are winning, I have to say, this guy hasn't had much a hand in it, no offense. I mean, it's not as if he's a bad player, he's just making some pretty poor decisions, and his map awareness is a bit lackluster. Right now, he should probably just focus his entire attention on run. This is about the point where I have to really start questioning his build, because as an engineer by this level, you normally have a skill called tactical withdrawal, I think is what it's called. Basically, you fling yourself like forward about 10 meters and you get 2 charges of it. So it's a really essential escape skill, because it's pretty much the only one you're gonna get. If you can manage to stun them down and then just like retreat away, then you're gonna survive. And knowing when to run and when to fight is one of the most important things in the game, I would say. So, I mean, clearly, like, this guy, he's not a bad player, and he's not a bad engineer, but his decision making is just not there. So that's pretty much equally as important as your aim, for example, because knowing whether to fight or run, and knowing whether to play the objective or hang back, knowing whether to pick up the buff or leave it for a teammate, these are all things you have to think about. You have to make decisions fast, and if you can't do that, then you gotta start learning, or just taking them into account. Because I find myself and a lot of people, what we do is we get into a game and our brain goes on autopilot. It's thinking about the instant moment within the game. It's thinking, like, what skills I have to press to kill this guy, and you start hitting them skills and you're just trying to bring the guy down. But maybe that's not the best decision. If you get in the zone and you're not really thinking about your actions, then you might forget to play the objective. You know, you might skip going for the mask. You might, you might forget getting for the buff. You might just forget to do something basic like heal your teammates when you have a healing on your skill bar. This is a fight he cannot win on his own. He's got a teammate behind him, but they're really overextended right now. Plus, this warrior is just a lot stronger than this guy. He's not really missing any skills and stuff like that. There's a move speed buff there, should have picked it up. He can get this frag, hopefully. Yeah, you got it, that's easy. Now he should be looking to run. Like, this warrior's in a 3v1 fight, but I just don't know what's going on with these people. He should be looking to back up because he's overextended, and the warrior friend is going to get back up. But the warrior, at the same time, should be looking to run, because even though your health isn't particularly low, people can chase you down in this game. See, the warrior took the smart decision of bailing away, and the exiles win. So I have to say, not really all because of that guy. But he played well on a micro basis, and he did pretty good. Quite proud of the score, really. And GG for the Exiles. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.